What is up, family? Welcome back to the Nikki Mungues Show, where I inspire so many people from different walks of life. And today I have a very, very, very special guest. She is basically like my sister. We are in the same business together. She is a strong, empowered woman, a mama of four. She was a former nurse, now a six-figure entrepreneur. And now to hear her story, I would like to welcome Miss Brittiany Crouse.
Hi. I'm so
Hello,
excited.
sister. I'm excited too. Thank you for being on my show.
Yeah, of course.
My goodness. So, a mama of four, and we're going to get straight to it.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you and I do Rainbow together. You're out in the South, and we had connected. Honestly, I don't know. We've gone on so many trips together, but I just wanted to congratulate you for being the very first most valuable dealer in the
Thank
history
you.
of Rainbow. So, yes, I know people who are watching, this is empowered woman, like I said, but tell us a little bit more about you, where you grew up, and certain things that your viewers want to hear.
Yeah, so I am from a little town in Tennessee called Finger. Yeah, like the finger. There's literally nothing here, but I have four little boys. I am married. Really just living my best life out in the country. Just, I guess, the basic, like, average Joe person that anybody could be. That's me. I was a nurse former to doing Rainbow, and I made excellent money doing that. By no means was it bad money, but I was super limited on time, and someone offered me the opportunity, and I've now been in it for 4 years, and I make three times my nursing salary now. So it's
My goodness.
amazing.
I love that. And nursing to entrepreneurship, that's a really big topic that I definitely want to talk about, because I have a lot of people that are in the medical field and they want to do this part-time, and I do know a lot of people who are nurses that want to get into the business. So what was your mentality on that? What made you want to transition into the world of entrepreneurship? Because I'm sure that you loved nursing. I know it was like a bit of a challenge because you joined during COVID, but what truly made you want to make that transition?
Honestly, it really all started when I originally found out about Rainbow through my little boy's pulmonologist. So I knew that for somebody like him to be pushing the product, that it had to be something legit. We started using it in our home. We've seen improvements in our little boy's health, and I felt like I wanted to offer that to other people. I wanted them to be able to see the benefits that we see in our home, and I guess that's my whole mindset when I go into a house, is that why would you not want to have that in your home?
Right.
If I can show you that this works, the proof is in the pudding. But I actually went to one of our customer appreciation meetings, and I started seeing how much money they made, how few hours they were working. And I think I called my husband afterwards, and I was like, man, I'm in the wrong business. Like, I got to see what this is about. And it did take my RGD now some persuading, let me say that properly, to get me into the business, because I was kind of hesitant, just because I've never sold anything before in my entire life. And I finally was like, what the heck? I don't have anything to lose. So the first month I ended up making, I think it was like $6,700, which was matching my nursing income. And that was part time. That was me
Wow.
doing, 6, 7 shows a week, if that.
Wow.
Um, and I was like, wow, okay. But I was really skeptical, so I wasn't sure. Like, I guess it took a lot for me to leave that stability, because I knew with my nursing I
Right.
had that guaranteed income. But I stayed part time for about 3 months, and my income just kept growing and growing. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Like, if I can do this, like, I'm going to make it work. We're going to figure this out. And I just quit. I don't encourage people to just quit like that, but I had a wild hair, and that's what I did. And it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, though, because I have not had to miss ball games anymore. I am home at a decent time. I don't have to worry about taking PTO time or running out of PTO time to go to a school function. All while still making amazing money, like so much more than I could have ever hoped for.
Right. And I love that for you. And I'm just so proud of you. You know, like I'm one of your biggest cheerleaders, being a mom of four. Now, I did have a question. When you were working Rainbow, you were still in the nursing. Like, what were the days what was your schedule like? So, would you work 3 days a week? What
Mhm.
were you like?
Yeah, so when I first started out, it really just depended on our cases because I was a surgical nurse. So our
Mm,
patient load it really depended. Most of the days, though, or most of the weeks, it would be 3 days on, 4 days off, and then 4 days on, 3 days off. So it really just rotated in and out. Occasionally, I would have an extra day in there or not an extra day, but I really just worked around that. So if I, worked those 312s, obviously I was tired, so I wasn't going to work after that. But I would just schedule demos or schedule once and get a demo, a 4 and a 7 on those days that I was off, and work 4 hours and make, whatever you're starting out at. Ours was 300 when I first started per sale.
yeah.
Um, and I just made it work. But I was like, an extra $1,000 a month for me was a lot. Like that did a lot for us. So it's like I can pay off student loans, I can, pay off debt, credit card debt, whatever.
Right.
So if I had to give up, like most of the time on those days, I was sleeping anyway. So
Right. Right.
go
Right.
out here and hustle and make a
Might
little
as
money.
well make this money.
Yeah, might as well, right?
I love that. And so you literally said you were making part-time money with Rainbow, but that was your income for your full-time nursing job.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy to me. And so obviously it's a no-brainer that you would want to do this full time, right? And balancing mommy life too. And so how do you do that? There's a lot of, women that I mean, I don't have kids right now, but it's like that being a mom is a full-time job already. And I'm just glad that you're able to balance that with the Rainbow business. But what are some benefits that you saw? I know you weren't able to miss ball games, and what else do you think like encourages you to really appreciate the world of entrepreneurship?
Really just having that freedom of knowing that if I wake up today and my kid has the flu, I'm
Mm,
not going to risk losing my job to be able to stay
right,
home and make them feel better. Because
right,
even as an adult, like if I got sick, I want my mom, right? Like you just want your
right.
mom. And that just, for me, that was it. But I remember the first time that I ever made a baseball game. When I was nursing, I was working 7 to 7, and usually their games would fall on the days that I would have to work.
Right.
So the games were already over by the time I got off. And I remember making the first one, and I'll be over here crying, sitting here talking about it because I get
Oh,
super emotional.
no,
But
I love
I
to hear
remember,
it.
I remember sitting in the stand, and my little boy looked up, and he seen that I was there, and his whole face lit up, and he was so excited, and he was just jumping up and down. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been missing this. And it really made a difference to him to be there. But then it was not even 2 weeks after that. And I was sitting in the kitchen and we had just had dinner. And it was when I first started Rainbow. So it was still pretty new. And my little boy was 5. He was in kindergarten. And
Mhm.
he sat down and he started reading a book. And I had no idea that he could read.
Oh
I,
my
I did.
goodness.
And I looked at my husband and I was like, he's reading. And he's like, yeah, he's been doing that for months now. And I
Oh,
was missing everything. And if we ever, were short on money, I was having to pick up another 12-hour shift. So that was just more
right,
time that I was getting sucked into through society because they say that's what you're supposed to do.
right.
Because I didn't know. I didn't know that there was an opportunity like this.
Right. And the fact that you said you didn't know, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like genuinely don't know. And so, if you are watching this, I hope you have been inspired. Just we've been talking for like not even 10 minutes, but the things that you are saying, I'm sure that somebody out there needed to hear all of these things. And it's so life-changing. You and I were talking before this, and you said, it can be one thing. It can be one thing that can change somebody's life. And I'm going to share this podcast with all of the people on my team because that is the type of mentality where, and I loved how you said, you don't want to miss out on your kids events. You like, but there also goes a time where you had such a fixed mentality, right? And I feel like the fact that you cared and loved so much, loved your kids so much that you wanted to be there for them, that fixed mentality is just gone. Like you don't even care
Yeah.
about that anymore,
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I just love how you're able to do all that. And so sorry, you were gonna add something on.
And I was just gonna say that on the days that I am not preoccupied with my kids, like they come first, it is God first, family second, rainbow third every
Amen.
day.
Amen.
And so the days that I'm not occupied with them, it's rainbow, 110%. As long as everything else is taken care of, they're aligned, they're at school, they're doing their thing, there is no reason that you can't be out here
Right.
hustling and doing your thing. For me, I know if I don't show up, I'm not going to get paid. So if I don't get paid, that's not on anybody but me. It's because I didn't
Right.
do what I was supposed to do. So really just taking accountability for yourself, making sure you're doing what you have to do and prioritizing your time. And there's literally no reason that any mom can't do it. If I can do it with 4 kids, anybody can do it.
Thank you. Like
Yeah.
I needed everybody to hear that. You guys
Yes. Stop making excuses and just
stop
do it.
making excuses. And that goes back to our topic. Like keep going and like don't quit. Right. And I'm pretty sure there are times where, and just being realistic, where you wanted to quit and no matter what, but what kept you going, Brittany?
So I have been at the top of the top on Rainbow and didn't even
Yep.
know I was at the top of the top. I had
Oh,
no idea I was doing anything special. I was just having fun. But I have also seen some of the lowest lows with Rainbow. But any bad day that I have, being able to do what I'm doing now is better than any day that I had stuck on a 12-hour shift. So that has just been my mindset.
that needs to be on a shirt. That needs to be on like every
That is what keeps me going because I know even if I have had just the crappiest time, that I still am making more money than I did when I was working those long hours, and I'm having way more fun and I'm way less stressed out. So any bad day here doesn't even compare to the things that I had to do.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? It is what you make of it.
Yes.
Right? Like it's up to you and if you don't you literally said if you don't show up, you don't get paid. So you are basically the CEO of your life,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And I
And
just can't understand why anybody else would want to have to worry about punching a time clock for somebody else when you could have all the freedom that you want on your own. And all you
amen.
have to do is just take a chance. I mean, you don't have anything to lose. I'm not telling you to quit your job today. I'm just saying
Right.
give it a shot.
Right. Because a lot of people have that mentality, what if it doesn't work? But what if it
But what if
does?
it does? What if it
Right.
does? Exactly. What if I would have never taken that chance and just said, let me try it. Let me see what it's about. I would probably still be punching a time clock, miserable, hating my life. And it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Right. And you're making other people's dreams like come true. Like why not
Yeah.
make your own dream come true? And I feel like the number one thing people need to get out of that scarce mentality. Stop with the I'm too scared. I can't do this. Like just stop it, right? Because
Yes, stop.
I know that you never had that mentality, right? You wanted the best for your family. So meaning to say you will do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. That, and I knew I couldn't allow my husband to say, I knew you wasn't going to be a good salesperson.
Yeah, right.
I was determined to prove him wrong because he had little faith in me when I started because I've never sold before, but I was not going to let him prove me wrong.
Yeah, no, right? And so, I mean, we're in this, we're in this space right now. And what are other things that you would tell people who are new to the business or people who want to get into entrepreneurship, wanted to get into the rainbow business? What else would you tell them besides stop being so scared? Other pieces of advice from you, from the heart.
Yeah, so just be consistent. Do it
Right.
over and over again. Don't, if something's not broken, don't fix it. So if you come in and you're doing well, don't go looking for other ways. There's always ways to improve, but don't ever change what you're doing just because somebody else is doing it. And try, I guess, don't try to be somebody else. Be you, be what works for you, and just be consistent in that. Do it, show up every day, and the proof's always going to come out. You reap what you sow over and over. So as long as you're showing up and you're consistent, it's going to pay off. And that is something that I have really stressed to my guys is like, even if you come out and you're getting a slow start and you're just struggling, you don't know if you're going to get it, just don't give up, because once you're in it, right? You're not going to lose anything at that point. Like, just keep trying. Don't give up. Don't give up so easy. Because if it was easy, everybody in the entire world would be making $1 million a year, right? Like you have to put in work. It's that way with anything. Just put in work and don't give up on, and definitely don't be too hard on yourself. I'm preaching to myself right now with that, because I am the hardest critic on myself, but it's something I'm working on to learn to know that it's okay if I'm not number one all the time, as long as I'm giving it my best. Right. And that is the biggest thing that I could tell people, is that it's okay to not be number one all the time. As long as you're having fun and your heart's in it and you're giving it your best, there's no reason to just give up.
Right. No, exactly. And I know what that feels like. Trust me, sis. Like, you know, you and I have been at the top of the top, you know, A-listers, worldwide sales champion. And, you know, sometimes it gives you so much pressure, because, you know, it's just on myself. I'm like, oh, can she do it again? And people have high expectations of you. But, you know, the fact that you've already proven it and done it does not mean that you can't do it again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I also learned this from my mentors. Like, it's one thing to like be good at sales, but it's also another thing to teach other people, right, what you do. And so you have grown your group. I want to talk about your group, because shout out to everybody who's on your group. How many people do you have on your team?
Right now, I believe there's 13 in total.
13 in total. And what are you guys averaging?
Roughly, we've had some better months. We've had some little
right.
But average, we average 100 plus a month.
100 plus a month. What was your best month in business as a group?
181.
181.
Mm-hmm. 180. That's insane.
How many reps did you have selling?
I believe there was 22 on our team.
Wow. Wow. I'm so proud of you. You know, so tell us, how did you grow your group that big? What were certain things that you were doing in order for them to, you know, come join your team? Because those are like outstanding numbers.
Yeah. So I tell everybody about the opportunity. I have sold rainbows in parking lots. I have sold a rainbow at the Dollar General. I have sold a rainbow at the Mexican restaurant. I don't care who you are. If I feel like you need to know about this opportunity, I'm going to share it with you. And I'm not going to be scared to share it with you, because had somebody been scared to share it with me, I know where I would still be. And I would never want to deprive somebody of the opportunity to change their life. And you really never know when you're going to find that little diamond in the rough out there that just needed somebody to believe in them. I have sales reps on my team that have been with me for over 3 years now, and I got them from a restaurant or a parking lot or the Dollar General. So you really just never know who you're going to find. And just as long as you're sharing it with everybody, people are going to hear you. They're going to want to see what you're doing. And then just not holding back from somebody, you know, don't be scared to talk about it, get it out there, because you just really never know.
Right. And the fact that you just offer the opportunity to anybody, like really, you know, somebody at Starbucks or at the store, because you never know who is out there, who needed to hear about this opportunity. And, you know, that's what it's like being an entrepreneur, right? You get to build your own business. And that's what I love about the Rainbow Opportunity. Not only, though, Brittiany, do we have a great opportunity, we also have a great product. Like,
absolutely.
Like the best, the original, you know, I don't care what anybody says. We have the best cleaning machine in the whole entire world.
Oh, absolutely. I have 2 in my house. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I'm so obsessed. They're literally sitting over here right now. Like, I'm so obsessed. They are so awesome. And I love it when I get texts from old customers that are like, hey girl, I just wanted to let you know I didn't have to get my allergy shot this month. Or my little boy hasn't had to have his inhaler today. Things like that is like, it gives me that satisfaction that I had when I was a nurse, that let me know I was doing good and that I was making a difference. But I'm doing it in a whole new way. And I am obsessed with that. That is my absolute favorite part of Rainbow.
Yes, I love that too. You get to, although, you know, you're still helping people with their health though. Like it doesn't have to be in the hospital. For me, I was supposed to be a doctor too, but it's like I tell my customers, I'm like, look, I'm still basically helping people with their health inside of their homes. That never, strays away. And
Yeah.
also, it's you just have to, lead from the heart, and people know like how much people will feel how much you care about them.
Yeah. They do. They sense that. They're gonna know if you're being honest about it, and if you're
Right.
not.
Right, exactly. And so you've been at the top, but it wasn't easy. And this goes back to types of motivation and coaching to new people in the business, right? And so I had spoken to Jay May about this. He was like my guest previously, 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about sacrifice. There are times where you have to sacrifice certain things, and it's going to be uncomfortable, right? So for me, I had to sacrifice, going out on the weekends almost every weekend with my girls because I had to prioritize my business because I wanted to be number one, right? So what are certain things that you had to sacrifice that you're like, man, I'm so glad, like I just focused on Rainbow. I focused on my family. Tell us about your journey of, sacrifice.
Yeah, and a lot of that is very similar to you. Like I will say I've definitely lost some people that I thought were friends.
Yes.
Because, and I will tell you guys, like I had one girl tell me specifically that she couldn't be my friend because watching me be successful was hard for her.
Are you
kidding? So I have lost some friends because I chose to put my future and my family's future and my success in this business above, like you said, going out every weekend. That's something that I don't go out and party with my friends. I don't do none of that. We will definitely sacrifice kids' birthday parties. Sorry to any of my mom friends that are watching this, if I ever but work above your kid's birthday party. But I definitely have to prioritize that, and that's being again where I'm going to put my family first, and then Rainbow is going to come after that because I know that this is what's going to set my family up for success in the future.
Right, right. And I absolutely agree because, short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, that's what I totally agree upon. And, the fact that you had to sacrifice certain things, you needed that strength, girl. One of my favorite topics, and you and I always talk about this, is God. I love talking about, and honestly, I recently just got, even deeper into my faith because I started to realize I can't be doing this rainbow business. I can't be living my life without like a source of faith that I'm like holding on. So talk about your faith. I know you love to put God first, and what are certain practices you do? Do you pray with, I know you just prioritize the Lord. So let's talk about that and how you implement that into your business and family and life.
Yeah. So I haven't been the very best about making sure that church was at the top of my list. I was still praying, I was still reading my Bible, doing devotionals, things like that. But that was my New Year's resolution, is to attend church so much more. So I'm trying to make that a huge priority in our life because I can tell just such a difference in my mood whenever I go to church and I come out of there and I'm able to just, leave it all there.
Right.
Because everything in life takes a toll on you. And definitely having that faith, knowing that no matter what we're doing or what we're walking in life, we're going to come out on the better end anyways.
Right.
Is definitely been something that's helped me, especially over the past year. I've done a lot of self growth, and just relearning myself, and I guess the kind of image that I want to portray to people. And I definitely want to make sure that people know that I'm a godly woman, and I hope that everybody sees that when they look at me. But I definitely make it a priority to read my Bible and to do devotionals. And I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm sharing with my team. I try to send them encouraging, Bible verses or daily affirmations, things like that. That's just going to kind of set the tone for the day. And then that way I know I'm incorporating that in every aspect of my life, not just my home life, not just like, everything else, but including Rainbow too, because it's a huge part of who I am. So I want to make sure that that's included in that.
Right. That balance, the sacrifice, and, just everything. And, I mean, I see it, the way you carry yourself as a businesswoman, as a mom is just, amazing. And, just keep doing what you're doing. And, I know that this business is going to help you bless so many more people in your life. And so, speaking about blessings, this business has been a blessing. And, it's so hard to like not talk about Rainbow because, this is what we have in common. This is like our lifestyle, right? And so,
It is.
let's talk about like certain trips that you've been on, like, and fun things that this business and entrepreneurship has helped you experience the past couple of years.
I feel like I don't even know where to start with this because
I
there
know.
have been so many. So I will just say, in the short 4 years that I have been in Rainbow, I have been to Las Vegas, California. I have been to Italy. I have been to Florida. I have been whitewater rafting. I have been to the Bahamas. I have been to Jamaica. I have been to Cozumel. I have been to Nashville and Memphis countless of times. And I'm probably leaving some stuff off of there. So that is one of the biggest perks to being in this business, is that our people are so good to us. They invest in us just as much as we invest in ourselves. And getting to travel the world for free is insane. I have seen places that I never thought that would even be an option for me. I had never even left the state of Tennessee until I met my husband. So
Are you serious?
yeah. So I am like soaking in all of this travel. It has been amazing. The money's great. The trips are fantastic. It's amazing. Like, I just can't say enough good about it.
Right. And, it's a whole experience that we both love to just be a part of, right? And the fact that every single sale that we do, everything that we do adds up to, getting treated with trips. And, I love it because the work that you put in is what you get rewarded with. And we have our next trip in Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls?
Oh,
Yes.
so
It's going to be
excited.
so much fun. It's going to
Yes.
be amazing.
Super.
That and getting to meet some of the people, like, had it not been for Rainbow, I may not have met you, or I may not have met some of these awesome people that are in the business. And that's been probably one of the biggest perks, is that we are more like family here. We're not like just a business where everybody's for themselves. You have the ability to help each other grow, and I feel like everybody's really for one another there. We all
Right.
started at the same place, so we're all trying to help each other get to the next level.
Exactly. Now, another question is there anybody, in your circle that, helps inspire you, or somebody you look up to, just every day, whether it be your husband or anybody in your circle that you want to give credit to that has helped you, become the woman you are today?
Yeah, definitely my husband. He is at the top of the list, because I'm telling you guys, he pulls daddy duty off like nobody's business. So I can go and do as many demos as my heart desires, and he never complains. He is rooting me on 110%. But also my mother-in-law, because that woman right there is heaven sent. Every trip that I have been on, she takes my kids. They just go and have the best time, and she has never once complained about watching them. She's like, "Go do your thing." I'm so proud of you guys for getting that. She has just been my biggest cheerleader. And I know a lot of people can't say that about their mother-in-laws, but mine is fantastic.
I know. I think we were in Nashville. I was like, "Where are your kids at?" She's like, "Oh, at my mother-in-law's." Like, I love that for you guys. That's
Yeah,
so awesome.
she's great.
Having those people in your circle definitely, make a big difference. And, talking about the circle, you said earlier that there have been some people that didn't want you to become successful. And, for me, I've experienced, certain I've experienced times where, you just had to stray away from certain people. Energies are off, negativity is there, and you just feel that other people don't want the best for you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you have, experienced that. But talk about your experience with, making sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people, and how, if you don't, it can affect you negatively.
Yes. So, first, let me say, if you ever don't get along with somebody, that's okay. Like, we're not designed for everybody to sync up just right and get along. So, if you have to part ways, it doesn't have to be a harsh thing. But who you surround yourself with is huge, because my boss always says it best. He's always like, if I come in and I start talking about, oh my gosh, the gas prices are sky high, my transmission went out, my dog died, and all these bad things, it's going to rub off on you. You're going to feel negative too. And it's going to be hard for you to have a positive outlook on things if every time somebody is around you, they're bringing up something negative. So at that point, you just got to learn how to separate yourself and be okay with knowing, hey, like, it's okay if we didn't hit it off. If that's not the kind of person you want to surround yourself with, it doesn't have to be such a bad thing. But it is very important for your mental health. I have definitely let somebody affect my mental health before. So separating myself definitely made a difference. And I realized that was why I was in such a funk, was because I was letting them fill my head with everything that I was trying to avoid feeling. And I didn't realize it in the moment. I was kind of blinded to it a little bit. They were trying to make it sound real good. And then I had to be eye open to that. But I learned to be okay with that. I learned to be okay with cutting that off and letting that relationship just kind of, love them from a distance.
Right. Exactly.
But it will definitely impact you. And also, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Find people that have that same energy that you do. Like Nicole, like, I love it when she calls me. When I see her name pop up on my phone, I'm like, I know we're about to have a hype session. Like somebody that just makes you feel better about what you're doing.
Yes.
Somebody, when you pick up the phone and they're like, how's business? And you're like, oh, it's going great. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to hear that. That's the kind of energy you need in your life. So find your people and stick with those people, because usually they're not going to stray on you.
Exactly. And, it's so important to have just those right people that support you, right? Because it can definitely be a distraction and you don't want that. And it's just, you had mentioned mental health. So what do you do? And I had to realize this as well, because I was just, working, and I totally forgot about doing things that I love to do. Basketball, I had to still incorporate that into my life. So what do you do in your career that has helped you, find your peace and, have some self-care and protect your mental health? What do you do on like weekly basis? Is there something that you do like every day just to, protect your peace and, keep you focused?
Yeah, so it's probably just sounds so simple, but like just doing my skincare at night, like taking that like half hour.
Yes.
Just like, massaging my face and taking my makeup off. That is like my me time. But I have also started really listening to encouraging podcasts when I'm in between my demos. Since I do have such a drive time, usually between my appointments, I find encouraging music to listen to, or, my favorite gospel, or just whatever it is that makes me feel good. That's what I try to do. I also have some really funny daily affirmation cards that I do. It's kind of quirky, but they're super cute. If you're ever wondering, get on Amazon, just look up some funny daily affirmation cards, and they'll give you a good giggle. But it's just kind of fun to see what it says every day. But really just my skincare routine, and I
love that.
It's so simple, but that's my me time. Nobody, the kids they know, don't come talk to mama when she's cleaning her face.
I love it. That's so fun.
But that makes me feel better. That, and going to like nail appointments every couple of weeks. That's just like my time where I can just chill. Yes, because we got to keep those girls.
Yes.
Just things that make you feel good, because when you feel good, or when you look good, you feel good. That I really believe that the way you present yourself is a good example of what's going on the inside.
Right.
So definitely things that make me feel good about myself: nail appointment, lash appointment, skincare routines, things like that. And playing with my baby goats. I love those little guys. I just sit on my porch and watch some things bounce around.
You are such a country girl. I love it. I love it. No, self-care is so important. And, I'm a huge advocate of, getting my nails done, my hair done, my lashes, skincare, everything, because your body is your brand.
It is. Yeah.
It's so true. How you take care of yourself honestly shows how disciplined you are with yourself too.
Yeah. And I definitely, like I said, people can say, it's really not like on the outside what matters. But I do think that first impressions do make a huge impact on what we, especially what we do, because we're in sales. You know, we're representing a high-end product, so I think we should
Yes.
at least put yourself together a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. I always tell my team, I was like, look, you have to look presentable. Like, I'm not asking you to, get your hair all done, but like, at least, just know that you're selling, an amazing machine. And this is like a multi-million dollar business company.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you have to, act accordingly.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I'm sure that's the reason why you get a lot of people on your team too. Like, it's attractive. Like, how you carry yourself is attractive. How you speak is attractive. Just the looks, your looks is attractive. And I totally agree with you on that. Like, a lot of people say looks isn't everything, but it's something.
It's something, okay? It's something.
It's something for sure, because yeah, no, I go to demos and I just love, looking good, because like you said, when you look good, you feel good. And that goes with everything, you
Yeah.
know. So let's talk about leadership. What are some leadership things, skills, techniques that you do to help empower your team? Because I'm sure a lot of people need to want, leadership tips from you, because you have built your team at such like a high volume and you guys are selling at a high volume. So are there like team camaraderie things that you guys do, team events? Like, do you just contact them every day? Like, what is your, routine for that?
Yeah. So, first thing that I always tell people about being a good leader is to make sure that you are taking care of yourself first. Like, you have to make sure that you have the right mentality, because you can't fully lead somebody the way that they need to be led if you're not where you need to be with yourself.
Right.
So definitely start with you. If you feel like there's something that you need improvement on, make sure that you're reaching out, getting the right steps, or, training yourself on what you need to know. And then as far as getting your team trained, is just making sure that, for us, we do a monthly training where we get our entire team together. We come in, we have breakfast, we do a lot of like fellowship, we just talk with one another. And then I like to do kind of like, I just ask them what they're struggling with. What are you seeing in the home that you feel like you can't overcome? And then we just talk about it. We just talk about it with each other. We offer opinions. We share. We just kind of share plans and go back and forth with one another. And that's been a huge thing for us. I try to talk to my team on the daily. When we were huge, that was definitely a lot harder to do. But I do have a group chat that is on WhatsApp. I try to send out just positive little encouraging things. Letting them know if they need anything, that I'm here, or, just really trying to uplift them. That's the biggest thing, is that making sure your team is happy. People, when they are happy and when they feel like they're appreciated, they tend to work a lot harder. I know that from experience, because I work a lot harder when I feel like, I'm like, hey, like, we appreciate you doing this. Like, I know that I want to try a little bit harder.
Right. Right.
Like, training's huge. That's a big thing. You can't slack on that, because things change. I know my demo has changed from the very first demo that I ever did. So as long as you're training consistently, if not, they can drive off the road a little bit and be somewhere crazy.
Right. Right. Training is very important, and
Yeah.
just seeing what they need help with is also super important. And I feel like those are two really big things, that a lot of people just need to realize, is just being consistent, because as a leader, you did say something that stuck out to me, where you have to take care of yourself first. And it's not just physical, but it's like mentally as well. You have to ensure that you're at a space where people are attracted to it. You know what your goals are. You want the best for other people on your team. And that is how you have grown your team at a high volume.
Yeah. And definitely not being somebody that is out here asking your team to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. If I ever ask my team to do extra training, I'm going to be right there with them. And
right.
if I ever ask them to ride with somebody, I'm going to be in the car riding with somebody too. It's not something, I want them to know that they're not alone. That's the biggest thing. And letting them know that you actually care about them, and I like to find out their goals and find out, like, we'll sit down and talk about what we need to do to get there. Because when they win, I win. So it's kind of, we win together in that sense. That's definitely been the biggest thing, though, is just making sure that they are consistently happy. If they're not happy, find out what we can do to change that.
Right. Right. And I love how you said, when people feel appreciated, they will work better. They will produce more, results. And that's really big because, here in this business, I don't care what business people are at, it's how you really treat other people. And you just really want the best for other people.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Exactly. And what are some things, and I love to, end this ask this question, because what are certain things that you would say to your younger self, whether it's in the business or in just life, because that shows what kind of person you wanted to, become. So what are certain things that you would, just tell your younger self?
First thing that I would tell myself would definitely be to not lose my faith, because I did go through a dark period for a little bit, and that is something that I regret, because I know that I would have been a much better person in that period had I not. I would also tell myself that it's okay to be scared and to fail, but it's not okay to not get back up and keep trying. And that in the end, it's all going to work out, and we get everything that we prayed for.
Exactly. And it's just so inspiring to see how much you have grown, as a woman. Because I don't think we even met in Europe and Italy. I don't think we met. I think it was after that. I know you were on the stage with me though when Jeff May had interviewed both of us.
Yep, you told me that. You said a big shot was a little shot that just keeps shooting. And
yeah,
that is something that has stuck with me ever since. I've never forgot it. I share it in just about every training that I have. I was like, wow, that's really eye-opening.
It's just so true, because you just have to keep going. Yeah. And then we had met. I mean, like, you had messaged me that, and then we had met at like some star summit, whatever, at a leader summit. And, just ever since then, we've just kept in connection and kept in touch with each other. So, these are the types of relationships that I wish everybody had, just a sister, in the same business as me, and just has the same mindset, just wants the best for you. And that's what I started to realize. I was super young. My mom has been in the business for so long, but I never really, everybody else was older than me, and I never really got the opportunity to connect with other people. Right. And so what you're doing right now, and you're inspiring so many people, I just, pray. And I know that people are inspired by your story. Being a nurse and all that, having a family of 4, and you're just doing so amazing in the business. I'm just so proud of you. So yeah, Brittiany, I'm so thankful that you came to my podcast, and I just know that you're going to do amazing things. And so I know you're on Facebook, right? People can follow you on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, people can follow you on Facebook, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last time you're going to be on my show. And I can't wait.
I'm so excited that I got to be on here.
Yes, in Niagara. So do you have any last and final words for any of your viewers? Anybody watching this?
Just don't ever give up. Just keep going, no matter how hard it gets, because it's always going to work out. And pray about it. If you don't know how it's going to work out, just pray about it. You'll get there.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, I will see you on my next show. It's going to be almost every single Tuesday for the rest of the month. And Brittiany, I love you, girl. I will continue to, cheer you on. I can't wait to see you soon. And I will see you guys on my next show. Bye.
Bye.
Ready?